In this walk, we're going to discover the fells around Ennerdale Water, and I'll pick up 2 Wainwrights and experience waterfalls, forests and stunning views. Starting off, we take an easy track next to Ennerdale Water to give us a simple beginning to this walk. Soon we reach the head of the lake and cross over the River Liza to enter the wood. Tracking past the waterfalls, we head up on the steady ascent through the heather. Caw Fell is ahead of us, and we soon reach the crest and summit. There are spectacular views all over the surrounding fells as we make our way to Haycock, and after spending some time on the summit, we head back down the other side of the valley. This is easy going, Ennerdale Water is in front of us, stretching out, and we descend into the woods once more. The descent is steady as we go. Once down, it's a straight walk once again, tracing the shores of Ennerdale Water back to our start point. This is a wonderful, peaceful walk, and I really hope you enjoy it.
We're starting our way in the paid car park, and it's owned by Forestry England. So if you're staying and you want to do this route, it'll take you probably more than 4 hours, so parking is 10 quid. We're starting today at 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's an early one, but I camped in the camper van quite close to here, so only 10 minutes away really, because this area for most people is a little bit more remote. So we're going to head along Ennerdale Water for a little while. We'll get to the head of it and then we'll start to work our way up. I watched a couple of people do this walk and everyone's complaining about the car park prices because 10 quid, I don't know, it seems quite a bit when National Trust ones are 7.50, but there you go. It's kind of the only game in town though, so you can charge 15 quid and I still have to do it. That's the stunning Ennerdale Water this morning, absolutely brilliant. Wow, so that is where we are. The start of this as we're coming down today is a road walk for a while, and then we'll get to the head of the lake and we'll start to work our way up. We'll pick up 2 Wainwrights, which are Haycock and then Caw Fell. And as we come down, they're just ahead of us. If you are thinking 15k seems quite a lot, well, the first section of this is flat and it's just this road type path behind me, and then it's the same bit on the way back, so probably about 4k of it is just a flat walk, so realistically there's not that much up on it and it is very doable. So I did one the other week and it was a charity walk. It was 15 miles and I normally top out at about 10 miles because just do sort of, you know, casual walking, but 15 miles I didn't even really notice, to be honest, because it was mainly on road and it's a lot easier because the ground is dead stable. So the first sort of K or so of this and on the way back it's just like this, so dead easy. It's dead quiet today because it's really, really early in the morning to get to here anyway, because it's about 2 hours really from where I live. It's more remote. And this little peninsula has got some nice little picnic benches in it. So great little spot for the summer. Now it's just turned New Year. I've got loads of plans and I've got some adventures lined up, one of which is the biggest hike that I've ever done by quite a way. So looking forward to doing that. And to get ready for that, because I don't do any sort of training in December, I'm going to hit training a bit harder, and this video is sponsored by Yesoul, who sent me this fitness program and bike, so let's have a look at that.
This bike by Yesoul is great for cardio training. The handlebars are easy to adjust, as is the seat, so it's great to get a custom fit for your ride. There are 2 bottle holders, and when exercising the resistance can be quickly adjusted. Your ride statistics are tracked by this massive screen, which is clever enough to screen mirror your device, so you can pick your own entertainment from any app, including YouTube. To follow instructions, I can log on to my Peloton app and follow the training on the bike, which is a fraction of the cost of Peloton bikes. Details of discounts are in the description and the pinned comment. For a strength workout, simply rotate the screen, crank up the volume on the powerful speakers, and choose an appropriate workout to do from one of my apps. So all my training needs are met, both for cardio and for strength, in one easy go.
So with that in mind, I'll be able to get my fitness up and then be ready to tackle my biggest challenge yet. There's the water tumbling down the mountain. Been a bit of a culling of the woodland there. And as you can see, this first K of the walk, it really is dead easy. It's just a sort of rubbly path. The start and end of this is the same on this road because it's the only thing that goes alongside Ennerdale Water. But once we're on the fells, we're going to do a big loop, and the point of this walk really is when you get to the top, you get an absolutely magnificent shot all the way down the lake. Quite a few of these picnic benches as you come along, so even if you are just thinking of coming down and having a walk around the lake, then it's a nice little spot. I've put a couple of lake walks on the channel, and I was at Buttermere yesterday, and that's a good little lake walk. It's very popular for dog walkers. It's pretty flat, so the reason I did that one was if it's like claggy on top and there's all sorts of mist, then you can just go for a walk around the lake, and it's a couple of hours. There's a cafe there and a pub in the village, so if you're thinking, oh, I can't get up because I can't see anything, just do a lake walk or something, because I know people's time in the Lake District is precious, so you can always get out and do something. Once we get to the head of the lake, then the River Liza joins us, and it's just running at the side here. That goes into the lake. I'm going to call it a lake, although technically they are all called really waters or meres in the Lake District, and it's only Baton Thwaite that's got the name lake attached to it. But even that was called Broadwater at one time. So, but all of those bodies of water, they're all lakes. After we walked our first 2k, we'll get to this signpost, so I'll just show you it. We're going across the bridge there. So we are actually on the Wainwrights coast to coast path, which has been established fairly recently. And this is going to take us to Ennerdale Bridge via Angler's Crag. And where we've come from is just down here, Ennerdale Bridge via Bowness Knot. So we'll head down here, cross over the River Liza, and then onto the fells. I was expecting this to be a little more side. Wow, that is, look at that. That is crystal clear. Absolutely brilliant. Wow. And that's it, working its way down to Ennerdale Water. As we come down here, we get views of Ennerdale Water on one side, but here on this side is the Mighty Pillar. I've got one video on that, which is the Shamrock Traverse, which is quite an exposed route on the side, and another one is part of the Mosedale Horseshoe. So I'll put those in the descriptions if you want to see it. This is going forward, and Caw Fell is just in front of us. This is your view back towards the lake, and it's fantastic both sides. You've got a chance to warm our legs up quite easily, and then we can get onto the fells.
You haven't happened to see 4 pigs on your travels?
Pigs? No. Just bumped into a farmer there. He's out looking for 4 pigs because they're out causing chaos and they've just caused all this rucking up here. So I might find them, we'll see. Anyway, we're on the forest loop and we're going to go up here first of all. This will take us to Caw Fell, and we'll be coming back down this route here. I've never seen pigs in a wood before, but it's possible because that is their natural shady type habitat. So if I do see them, nice little turn up the books. It's a nice woody section going through here, and we'll get a gentle rise as we start to get onto Caw Fell. The name Caw Fell, really it's Old Norse, and because Haycock is the bigger of the two, then Caw Fell relates to the word for calf and Calf because it's the sort of youngling alongside the major parents, a bit like Skiddaw and Skiddaw Little Man. We're going to leave the lake for a bit behind us, so we'll leave Ennerdale Water now and we're going to work our way up the fell. And it's a fairly steady ascent as we go up through the trees. The rise as we're going up is 550 metres, so doing it for a while. This section is quite gentle heading forward, then it gets a bit steeper later on. We've got over here a bit of a waterfall slash dipping pool. So if you're into your wild swimming, it's a good little stop. Just be a bit careful on the rocks. You've got the confluence of two rivers here, or two becks anyway. And then we're going over this one and staying in between the two of them. There's a cute little bridge. There we go. That's a scene coming down, isn't it? Working its way down the valley. There's the other bridge, but we're not going over that. We're sticking in between the two on this. As you can see, it's very woody, and if you're going up here in the summer, there'll be lots of heather around, and you get some dappled shade. So, nice walk for that time of year. The ground I'm walking on at this stage is kind of rubbly. You can probably hear it crunch under my foot. So it's a steady path going up, quite well maintained. When you come up from the bridge, this is what you're getting. So if it's summer, then all this heather will be out in bloom. But it is quite a tight path. You can definitely see it, and it is an obvious path, but it's obviously not very well walked, so pretty tight. This area really is on the more extreme part of the Lake District in terms of getting out there. So I think really if you're in this area, you're probably Wainwright bagging. So if you are, let me know how you're getting on with that. These two we're going to do today are two new ones for me. And once I've completed those, then I'm done in this area. And you'll be able to find a complete set of things, pretty much I think, in the folders. So I split up all the fells into folders. So there's 7 of those to correspond with the Wainwright books. So you're in any particular area, and today we're sort of North Wales Fells yesterday, not so far away from here, and Western Fells today, but they are obviously right next to each other. If you've done these, then just tell me how you did it and who you did it with, because that just gives other people some ideas as to alternate routes, or indeed what you thought about this one. We have reached this stile, so just get over it, and you can see it's the end of the wood. It opens up a bit now. As we're coming up here, get over this stile, but just in the distance behind me there, you've got Steeple, and Steeple makes it into one of the best tops in Wainwright's books. And it is like a little steeple sticking up. So if you've been on that, it can be tagged into the Mosedale Horseshoe, and it is a great little one. It's a really tiny top, but got really commanding views. So this is us for a bit as we work our way across the fell side. The views will start to open up behind us here, and we have ahead of us got our shot of Caw Fell. So it's not the one that's immediately in front, it's just the one behind that in the middle here. So our target is in sight. As we go up, you can just see Ennerdale Water appear again behind me. So we're about 400 metres now, and it'll start to gently go off a little bit as it gets to the head. And it is what I would call consistent going up here. As I say, I stayed over last night, and that was in pub car park, and it was the Fox and Hounds. And because it's out of season, they let me stay in there for free because I was eating. So, little tip for you, it does say on the website it costs you £10, but they didn't charge me because I was eating. Had a couple of beers in there, so they were happy with that. And it's only about 10 minutes or so from here, or the start point anyway. But it was freezing, and I'll say nobody out today. I saw about 2 people yesterday out on the fells, and I've seen no people today on this, except for the farmer looking for his pigs. And in winter, that's often what will happen. So I've got my bivvy bag, radio, and other safety stuff in my bag just in case. The reason I came today is because it's bright blue skies and it's going to be a fantastic week. I'm going up, seeing more stuff. To the side of me here, you've got red pike and high style and high crag. And the other side of that will be haystacks, and that is famously the last resting place of Wainwrights. That's where his ashes are sprinkled on Ennerdale Tarn, or Loaf Tarn as it actually is originally called. Just thinking about the coast to coast that we saw earlier, or part of the route anyway. I've not done it walking, I have done it cycling a little while ago, and that is something I also do quite a lot, but I don't put it on this channel. I guess it's hard to drone and do whatnot. I think it's a bit dangerous to be going at about 20 miles an hour on a bike, trying to talk to people, but this is alright. I might do it as a walk in the future, so if you fancy looking at that, then let me know. I'll see if I can plan it in. Done around half the up for today, or for this fell anyway, and then once I've completed this short section here, it will then shallow out the rest of it. Not dead shallow, but shallower than what we've been doing anyway. You see the path is like this trail, and that's consistent all the way up. So my boots are bone dry. And if it was raining, I think I'd be alright anyway, because there you go, lots of stones to be on top of. But a view back, and you can just see the edge of the water there. There we go then. Cairn markers to mark our way. And as I say, flattens out a bit now, then gradual up. Well, there's this handy boulder, so we'll have a nice sit. And you can have a little look at the view back. Let's get going. After our little stop, there's only a bit to do, then we'll be at the top. The fells today are looking stunning out to the side. Absolutely amazing. That's one great thing about winter, is the way the light catches the fells. You just don't really get it the same in the summer because the sun's basically too high. So although it's pleasant temperature, you don't get the same effects. And you know, as long as you've got the right clothes on, then it's really not an issue being out. Today there's some ice around, but only a little tiny bit. And I've only got the usual stuff on with a mid layer and a base layer, but I've got another jacket in my bag just in case. But the forecast today was this bright blue, and it's going to be the same all week. As we're going forward, you can see Haycock as well in front of us, and that's our major summit for today. As you can see behind me, I've been walking in the shade for most of this, so it's a bit nippy. But shortly, I'll be at the top and in the sun. So I've got a base layer, a mid layer, which is this, and a top layer in my bag if I need it. But I don't think I will today really, because as long as I'm keeping moving up, that's burning the energy, so keeping me nice and warm. Just for reference, we are coming up and we'll head up that way, get to the top, work across to Caw Fell, head back over to Haycock, and then we're going to be taking the ridge down. So walk back is looking like it'll be in the sun. When I'm recording this, the winter solstice was only a few days ago, so it's very low light levels. The sun's not getting up high, but if you're doing this, you know, when most people are walking in the spring, summer, autumn time, then it's going to be higher sun for you, so should be fine. I feel like this would be a bit squelchy, but because it's icy today and the sun's not got to it, I'm just walking on the top. There you go. Boop. As we're coming up, obviously got this fantastic view behind, so don't forget to stop occasionally to admire that. Absolutely brilliant. We hit this flat section and it's got an amazing view out over the fells and down to the coast. And as we look around, we can see parts of the Moselle Horseshoe. And again, I've got a video on that, so if you want to see it, I'll link it in the description for you. These rocky outcrops just add a bit of interest to it as we're going up. And at this point, we've got about 100 metres of height left. This might be the first time I've ever been up a Wainwright and seen absolutely nobody. It's hit the sun now and it's really low and in my face, but I'm gonna hit the crest here and the col between the two, then I'll get up. It's not too far, so we're over to the col, then just up there. As we walk along, that's our view back. Absolutely magnificent. Oh, over to the side is Grassmoor, and that's totally clear, unlike yesterday or last week, as we call it on YouTube. The walk across here, as you can see, dead steady, and it's the same as we gently get towards the top. Looking back, as you pop up, you'll come round, and there is a path that goes this way, which is the main path, but it doesn't go to the summit, so you've got to come up here instead. So work our way towards the wall. The top of this is a mix of grass and boulders, but I can tell already when I get to the top here, just a few metres away, it's going to command in views, because look at that behind. Work our way up. The trail is faint, but you can just see the summit cairn ahead of us. There we go then, the summit. That's the summit cairn. Well, actually I feel like this is slightly higher. So let's get over there. Give it a tap. So it's our first Wainwright of the day, and we'll quickly be on to our second, and that's the vast majority of the up for today. Wow, there we go, another one claimed. What a view. So from here, we're going to work our way over to Haycock and then right round. And Haycock itself means, well, pile of hay. Hay as in hay, and cock, which I think is COC in this instance, and that's like a triangle shape. So that's the shape of the mountain. So it basically is named as, say what you see, it's a pile of hay. Yeah, Haycock. So there it is. It does have that distinctive shape on it. For this we just follow the fence line, so it's quite a straightforward walk over. I guess this wire fence here is to protect the sheep and keep them on that side of the fence. It looks a bit dilapidated in parts. Not quite as attractive as a dry stone wall, but I suppose it does the job. You can see when you're coming down here, you've got absolutely brilliant views of all the fells. And we are in the Western Fells, which is the quietest. And I've seen no one today, except for the pig farmer down there. I just sent the drone up and I've noticed the path on the other side of this wall looks a lot more established. So I'm just going to nip over here. Equally, where the wall is sort of broken down there, it's possible to do that, but this is sort of style. Try and get over it. There you go. You can get over there anyway. So this is the, looks like a more established path. So I'll work our way forward. We get to see our new fells on this side, because we've had a look at the views over here before, so nice little change for us. What you can see looking out is Sea Talon, and I've got a video on that with Middle Fell in it, and over at the side we can just see Ilgill Head. And again, got another video on that. I keep everything in folders, and these are my last two to pick up as Wainwrights that I've filmed in the Western Fells. So if you want to see a complete set, just go in there. I'll link it in the description for you, so you can check out anything around this area. When we get to this area where I am now, because of the wall, it just looks a bit like ancient battlements and a ruin, but it's not. It looks like a little village that's been torn down. Good place to stop and have your butties actually, because the views out are of course spectacular, and there's lots of rocks you're going to have a little perch on. Adds a bit of interest to the walk anyway. Look at that. It's obviously a border between two farms. The rocky outcrop I've just passed is Little Gouda Crag, and it's not a Wainwright. I'm sure Dave from DA Outdoors will tell us what it is in the comments. Maybe a Singe or a Burkett or something like that. Go on Dave, what is it? However, I do have to leave myself something to do later on, once we've completed all these. As we're coming up, we hit this boulder field, so a little bit tricky to pick through, but we're essentially tracing the wall. But looking back, there we go. What a majestic view. And just there, you've got Ennerdale Water. Sticking to the wall, and the path is right here. And it's reasonably stable, but some of these rocks, wow. Just a little further and we're there. Ludicrous view out. And there you go, so Caw Fell is down here. Wow. You can tell actually you're really at the edge of the fells, because That's the Irish Sea, just beyond. Once through that, it remains bouldery on top really, and a bit like Caw Fell, it's bouldery and rocky. But the summit's within sight now, we're rounding off. So we'll get over to the summit, and then we'll check out the surrounding area. And visit the summit first, and here it is. So there we go, captured. So that is Haycock in the bag, but over here we've got a great viewing platform, so I'm going to go and check that out. This will really give us a fantastic view over the Caw Fell range, so we'll just get our way over. It's quite an interesting top actually, there's a few little things around, and below this there's another crag you'll be able to see. Right, there we go. One of you out. So what we can see here is the Caw Fell range. So we've got Caw Fell on the right, Caw Fell Pike on the left, Ennerdale in between. We'll work our way off with that staggering view in the distance. If you're enjoying the video, helps me click on the like, and equally if you want to see more of these, then just click on subscribe and you'll see the new ones as they come up. If you want to drop a comment, it'd be good to hear from you. And if you've done this at all, or any of the fells around here, it'd be good to know how you did it and who you did it with, because that gives other people more ideas. And that's what we're trying to do really on this channel. Alright, let's get down to the woods again, and then we're back to the van. This is us then, through the gates. And then we're taking this track here. So from the style, there is a track that goes this way, but we are going straight down. So if you've got Ennerdale Water ahead of you, then that's the right one. One of the reasons for choosing this route was because it's got Ennerdale Water going back, so get that spectacular view. And there it is as we go down. I do get the impression that in other times of year, when it's not frozen, this will be quite boggy, so if you're thinking about one for winter, this could be it. This route pretty much squares us up. We're looking down the whole length of Ennerdale Water. So we'll get on here and see it. There we go. Just nip and get this vantage point, and we can check it out. Look at that. Wow. So that is pretty much the whole length of Ennerdale Water. Absolutely fantastic. What a view. So essentially we came up the forest and we stayed on this side, went up to Caw Fell, across to Haycock and then down here, and now we're following this side, and that'll take us back to the original track, which is next to Ennerdale Water. On this section coming back, there's an upper path and a lower path, and the upper path is much drier, so I'd definitely make sure you're on that one. It's quite heathery. The other one is definitely boggy. This is boggy in places as well, but we're on our way down, so not too much of a trouble. here, we'll follow the fence line down and then into the woods again. But look at that. You've got a full view of Ennerdale Water just ahead. Here's our stile. Let's get over as we continue to go down. We're really dropping quite a bit of height now, and you can tell. We'll join the lower path just in a minute, but we'll just trace this fence line. And again, this route will keep you a bit drier than the one at the bottom. Wow, that's quite the drop down. This down I'm on, the sun's not got to it at all, so it is a bit slippy. So depends what time of year you come, but I'm just taking it super cautious on the way down. However, you have got that ahead of you to enjoy while you're picking your way down. At this point, working our way down, obviously, but we've got 150 metres to go down, and then we're pretty much at the forest level, the flat bit anyway. So a little bit to do, and then we're walking down here and then back to the car. Been walking on this kind of thing for a while, which is sort of rocky, and we'll do a little bit further. We've not got that much to do though, so soon get there. Although it does feel like I've been doing this for a while. Still going down, but as soon as we hit the wall, it's a flatter gradient. So this is the wall here, and then we'll ease our way into the forest. We're hitting the forest level now, and I know it's similar to what we saw at the start. So thanks for watching the video all the way through, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, it helps me if you click on the like. And if you want to see more of these and you're not already, then just click on subscribe, and then you'll get notified when the new ones come up if you've switched on your notification bell. Right, so we'll head our way through and then back to the van. Hello sheepy, not seen many of you out today. There we go. Looks like this gate's took a hit. Oh dear. Here we are then. So back round Liza path, and that's River Liza in front of us there. Whoop. We are onto here, and then follow this path up. We'll get to the bridge, cross the bridge, then back down the same path.